Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maryam Bey, and I'm so happy to be here. I feel like I am blessed. And again, I have two exciting young women today. And let me tell you how God works. They are my guests today because a guest had to do something today. And what happened was I needed to get someone else to replace this gentleman, right? And so Mr. Nelson, I was gonna say Alan. Mr. Nelson has been bothering me for a while, talking about y'all and everything. So when this happened, I said, okay, God, let me make the phone call. And I called him and I said, okay, I have a spot that just came up. If they could come on Friday, then they could be my guest on the show. He said, well, let me see if I can make that happen. You know, and you are sitting here right now after we just talked yesterday, because we have not met each other. We talked. And when I spoke to you, Asia, one of the things that I said was, that I thought about, and I also said this to him as well, my granddaughter is named Asia. And she's beautiful too, just like you are.
Thank you.
And when I talked to you, it's not that I didn't think that you could do the show. However, once I talked to your mother, I heard your mother in the background and everything, okay, I said, you know what, let's just do a twosome. So that's how you two got on together. And I'm really happy to meet you, and thank you for being here on television.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So now, Asia, do you want to tell the audience something about, you don't have to get into it like too much right now, because we're going to have our little discussion, but just tell them why you're here today. Why did Mr.
Nelson.
Why do I want to call him? I don't know why I want to call him.
That's okay. You can call him whatever you want.
Why did he want you to come on here today?
Well, my name's Asia, and I am a recent 3-year high school graduate, and I just want to share my story to inspire others.
And now you're the mom.
Well, I'm grateful that Asia graduated in those 3 years. It wasn't easy. But I'm so grateful that someone shared our story. That's why we're here. Our story was shared, about the hard work that she did, and that's how we ended up meeting you and ended up here. And thank you again for having us here to share our story. We hope to inspire other people and hopefully be impactful. That's the point.
Yes, very good. So Asia, why don't you tell us something about your story that will inspire other young people?
Well, one of the reasons why I think I will inspire others is that I don't want other Black females to be another statistic, because that is something that we see all the time. Because I could have been a dropout, I could have been pregnant, I could have been on the streets, I could have been on drugs, I could have died somewhere. But instead, I let what was around me and what I've seen as I'm sorry, I'm getting tears.
That's okay, go ahead.
What I've seen on the news and all the time, I let that motivate me to want to do better and prove other people wrong about, the average Black females.
Okay, so when you say prove other people wrong, what do you mean by that?
Not just that, but I had a lot of Caucasian teachers who would constantly degrade me and put me down. About my studies and about, putting down my self-confidence.
Okay.
And that really affected me. So I really stopped trying to even bother, doing better.
Right, no, and I completely understand that because I owned a school for 10 years. And I understand the importance of having the right teachers in the classroom with you, that works with you to live up to your great expectations. We have to have great expectations of you to achieve. So having teachers who don't do that will definitely impact you in a negative way. Yes. So you need to be congratulated for what you've done. you know,
Thank
and
you.
what I always say, this is television. And the reason why it's television is because when people come on, they're telling their vision. Everybody has a story, you know. So when you say a statistic, for example, I dropped out in high school. I got pregnant twice, okay? And then I went on to get married and have 2 degrees, and then I owned a school. So I could have been a statistic, but those who did, we all have different stories. Mm-hmm. So in order for us to go through things in life, we have to do certain things. So if I hadn't dropped out of high school, I would not have been able to tell young people the reason why you need to get your high school diploma or your GED. Right. Because I did, you know, and so we become examples for other people, as you are an example for young women, because with the environment that we're living in today, it causes us to do certain things that maybe under normal circumstances we would not do. And plus it also depends on the parents that you have too, you know. And so when I heard you in the background, that's why I said you need to come on, because you talked about something that I love, which is parent activism. Yes. Because I can relate to what you're talking about when you said what you did to help your daughter. So why don't you share some of that with the audience?
Okay. So when Asia was about, I think she was about maybe 9, 10, I noticed that she was having troubles with her studies. She always liked to read, you know, all those great things, but she just had these teachers that kept giving, they were racist. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They were racist.
Don't. This is television.
Right. They were racist and they were degrading her. There were times that she would have like tantrums where she didn't want to go to school. She was really going through a lot, and she really did want to give up on school. Mm-hmm. And we had to fight. Her dad and I, we had to fight. And, you know, they were saying they were going to put her back, and we were like, no, you're not. And I started interviewing teachers at the school. I'm like, if you're not going to, you know, do what's best for my kid, I said, I'll take all of my kids out to school. Mm-hmm. After that, we did get a teacher, and I asked him, did he have the passion and the patience to teach my Black child? Mm-hmm. And he was white, and he did, and she did a lot better. But I did tell Asia, faith without works is dead. When I told her that, I seen her soar after that.
Now, what does that mean, that faith without works?
If you believe it and you don't put the work in for it, it's dead.
Yes.
There's no fruit.
Okay.
So I told her if she didn't put the work in and believe in herself and believe in God, but it's not going to happen for her. Yes. And she did. And she's been making high honor roll since then. The God moved the teachers out the way, thank God, because I was ready to choke them all. I'm not going to even lie. But I told this teacher, I said, I worked too hard to build her confidence.
For you to come and tear it down.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you come and tear it down. And I told her that. And we got rid of that teacher, moved on. You know, she had a couple of hiccups in the role, but she stayed on the course. But she's seen me go through a lot. I'm a parent.
Asia saw you go through a lot.
Asia's seen me go through a lot.
Okay.
I've been sober for some time. A long time, enough.
You said you've been sober?
Yes, I had a problem
now,
with
when
addiction.
you're saying, okay, that's what I was going to ask you. I thought you've been sober
addiction.
from these teachers, but now it's sober for for the addictions. Okay.
No, I had a problem with addiction. That was something that was in our family. Started with my dad. You know, about the generational curses, different things like that. But she's the breaking those things, and you know, she's breaking glass ceilings for women and, you know, Black women and people like her. And I'm working in the recovery field now. I'm a recovery specialist. I just got my certification.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. And my target is young women, Black women, and you know, your first ministry is your family.
That's right.
Like I said, she saw us go through a lot, and what she learned from it is I just told them the raw truth about everything. I never sugarcoated anything for her, and she took it and ran. Mm-hmm. And I'm really proud of her. Okay,
and you see what you're demonstrating to the audience is that children need to be supported.
Absolutely.
If, you know, whether it's through a parent, through the community, they have to be supported. And in this case, with our children, with Black children, that we have a lot of issues in these schools.
Yes.
You know, and when you were talking about this last night, it took me back to my parent activism days, because I was always in the school. Once I closed my school and I had to transfer my children to public school,
Yes.
I became a parent activist.
You have to.
Yes, and as a result, I became a school board member and president.
Right.
You
Wow.
know, because we have to fight for our children.
We do.
And in my book, I wrote a book called Broken Spirit, Let It Go So You Can Grow. And this book is all about broken spirits, because all of us have been a broken spirit
Yes.
at some time in our life. And the reason why I titled it Broken Spirit is because the population that I was working with at the time were brothers and sisters who were incarcerated. And working with them behind the walls, I realized that all of them were broken spirits, just like I was a broken spirit. Because at some point in our life, we will be a broken spirit.
That's right.
Because that's part of our trajectory in life.
Right.
So then, this is what you did for me last night. This is the second time that I'm doing this on the show.
Wow. Okay.
I wrote, and there's a chapter in the book, it's called Our Children Can Become Broken Spirits. And in it, Asia, it's about my granddaughter, Asia.
Wow.
Now listen to what I'm going to read, okay?
Okay.
This is really wonderful.
Wow.
Listen to this. I said, my granddaughter informed me her teachers would always compliment students who were white or light-skinned. This caused my granddaughter to question her worthiness and value due to her teacher's attitude towards the color of her skin, rather than the measurement of her intelligence. My granddaughter would cry because of this treatment. This was cruel and malicious punishment by her teachers. Fortunately, she was told how beautiful she was by her mother, family, and friends every day who loved her. Today, she is a smart businesswoman. So what you went through, my granddaughter is now 36 years old. She may be 38, because I forget. But anyway, she's between that age, 36 and 38. And at that time, we would walk to school and she would tell me all these things that the teachers were doing to her because of the color of her skin.
Yeah.
You know, and I grew up in the civil rights movement, and as we know, Martin Luther King said that we should be judged by our intelligence rather than the color of our skin. And unfortunately, we're still going through this, and you're going through this, and I just want to say, I'm so sorry that you went through it, but guess what? You went through it, and look at you today. You proved them wrong. Because you had your mother and your father and people who love and respect you, to see the worth in you. So you are going on to do some great things. Because guess what? Even though you got the support from your mother and father, you could have given up.
Yeah.
And you didn't. So that's a blessing.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that.
I said, wow. I said, let me read this again.
A lot of our kids don't talk about it.
That's right.
So for you to even, she knows that she wasn't alone. You know what I mean?
You're not alone.
And you're not crazy.
Right.
No.
You're not.
You're not.
And then you have so many examples of successful women, Black women. You have so many examples. And guess what? They all went through something too. So as I like to tell people when they sit before me and they're telling me all their problems and everything, I like to tell them, you're not special. Okay? Because other people have gone through the same thing and they're now thriving.
Yeah.
So to have a mother like you, who is a Black woman, who understood, and as you said, you went through your own crisis.
Right.
And guess what? Look at you now. So you got a story.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm so happy that you all are on here today.
Me too.
Because other people need to hear what you went through and how you survived it.
Yeah.
And now how you're thriving through it.
I mean, honestly, what I went through myself, you know, I know would have killed some people, but determination and hope kept me going. my faith. I said, I refuse to let my kids bury me as a statistic. I will not let that happen. And even through struggling with my addiction in that time, I still was raising my kids.
Right.
I still sent them to school, and I had their dad by my side. And we need the Black men to come. We need them to take their roles.
Absolutely.
You know, but I thank God for just everything I've been through. If my kids had to watch me go through that to learn,
Yes.
then so be it. If it helps save someone else's life,
Right.
so be it. I would do it again.
Right.
I would do it again. And I'm just grateful to be in that place where now I can give back. So, you know, it's not about me.
Yeah.
So you were addicted. You were addicted.
Right.
What was the drug of choice that you were addicted to?
Crack cocaine.
Crack. Okay. Now, when you go in and now you have your certification as a drug counselor,
It's a peer specialist.
peer specialist.
That's next, though. That's
Okay.
next.
Okay. As a peer, but see, peer specialist
It's close
is good as well because
Yes.
you're going in there being their peer because of what you went through.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
That's it.
And see, and as a peer specialist, what you guys do is you are helping them through your own
Yes.
recovery, and with your doing that, it is also helping you to recover as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Thank you for saying that. A lot of people think it's something so small, but it's
no,
not.
that's big.
And yeah, because when I see those hurting people out there, I saw myself.
Because you've been there.
Exactly.
So you're able to relate to it.
Right.
That makes the difference.
It does.
See, with me, if you haven't been there, don't be talking to me. That's my
See?
position on
You
that.
took the words right out of my mouth because nobody wants to hear your textbook, theory
Yes.
on things. They want to know, what did you go through that you could tell me I could make it out of this?
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So I'm going to tell you about what a drug person who's been addicted to something, but I've never been addicted to a drug.
Right.
But here's the thing, though, we've all been addicted to something,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so for me, I would tell, like when I was working inside the prisons, I would tell the brothers and sisters what my addiction is. And what my addiction was chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream and chocolate chips with chocolate whipped cream.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. Chocolate. I don't even want to tell you about my episodes with chocolate, but I would binge on chocolate. I understand.
Okay.
Understand.
Okay.
That's my new addiction. How about
Okay.
that?
Okay. And so people have all forms of addiction.
They do.
You know.
They do.
And so people need to have people with them who've gone through the form of addiction that you've gone through.
Exactly. Exactly.
That makes a difference because now they feel comfortable talking to you.
Yeah, and they don't feel judged.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I don't go out there like I cross every T and dot every I. I go to the slums to reach people. They don't even know about the resources that are out there. I was working with the organization. I don't want to say
Yes.
their name, but I was
Right.
working with the organization. Learned a lot from them. I did my internship with them, and these people would go to the hood. Like they would go out there with us, and we would go where shrines and everything was, and go out there and speak to these people. And the things that I saw out there, I just felt like, I'm not gonna say I felt like, I see that they left our people behind to die in
Yes.
these communities. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep reaching them, but they didn't even know about the resources. They thought I was lying. They thought they had to pay for something.
Yes,
Like these things
that's
were
true.
free that
That's
they
true.
didn't even know about. And, it took some time for them to, develop a rapport with me to trust me, but I did get a couple of them. But some of the people that were out there were almost 70 years old, and it broke my heart. And I said, oh my gosh, they never had any hope, or nobody came to them for help. And it breaks my heart that's they just been there for so long,
Right.
So that's my vision. I know that that's my purpose, is to reach those hurting, broken people, man, woman, child, I don't care who they are.
Yes.
But especially for our community, because
Right.
our community are the ones who don't have the resources. No offense to the Caucasian or whatever. They have their resources. We don't have those resources for our people like they have them. We have to bring it to them. They don't know where it's at.
And as you said, the key thing is that a lot of times they don't know.
No.
And so what you're doing is bringing it to them.
Yes.
And that is what we need to do, bring it to them.
Yes.
Because like you said, a lot of times they don't believe that it's
That it even
there.
exists.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
because nobody's going to them to help
Right.
them. They're forgotten about and left behind to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I see And I, you know, a lot of my peers agree with that. We have a lot of Caucasian people that actually come out and will, if the people are laying on the ground and sit on the ground, they'll sit on the ground with them. Like they
Yes.
really care.
Right.
And, but they see that these are communities that are forgotten about. So, you know, what her doing, what she's doing, she's actually going to be helping me with some outreach and things like that. I started an organization. It's called No More Glass Ceilings, actually.
Okay.
I remember when I was in addiction, and it was a prophet, a friend of mine, she told me that she saw me kept hitting this glass ceiling, and it made me so angry that I broke through the glass ceiling. I kept fighting till I broke through it, because once she said that, I said, okay, this is why I'm not going higher. This is why I'm stuck. And it just, sometimes it just takes one word just to change a person's life, and that was the word that changed mine.
Yes.
So I knew once God got me cleaned up, that he was going to send me back out there to those people to help them.
Right.
So that's why I instill so much in them as women, because I've, you know, we've been through you go through some degrading things when you're in substance use.
Yes.
So I make sure that I, like I said, never sugarcoated anything for them, so they can never say no one told them.
Right.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. In life, when we're on the journey to our purpose, we have to go through all these steps.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So you have to go through what you're going through in order to help people.
Yes.
And
I understand
that
it
really
now.
that is really the bottom line. Because when you look around, you probably say, well, why am I doing this? Why am I going through this?
That was always what I was saying. I was
Right.
like, why am I going through so much
Yes.
suffering? Why am I going through all of this stuff? And it didn't dawn on me till later, what you just said, like it was for somebody else. It wasn't
That's
for
right.
me.
See, a lot of our suffering that we go through, it isn't for us.
Right.
When we make it through, it's for other people.
Yes.
So now that you've gone through it, look at how you're able to help people. But you would not have been able to help them as well as you're helping them if you had not experienced what you've gone through.
This is true.
For real.
Yes. You're right.
Yes.
I know that now. I didn't understand it before, but I do
now
know
you
it
know.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And it's
just-
humbling.
Yes, and it's just confirmation.
It is.
Because when the Creator has something for you to do, that's why this I talk about us having a purpose, because we all have a purpose in our
We
life.
do.
And we don't get it right away. We got to put the work in to get the purpose.
That's right.
And what it is that we're supposed to do.
And pain will push you to that purpose.
That's right.
If you let it.
That's right. That's right. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who was a brother who sold drugs for 10 years, and he's now the founder of the Agape Church in California.
Wow.
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 And he wrote a documentary. It's called "The Answer Is You." And so, with the answer being you, what he's saying is everything is inside of you. We go around looking for other things, asking people for this and that, when really, when you sit down and you focus on the inside, the answer is you, and the answer will come to you.
You're so right. I used to always look around for different answers, and I always kept finding myself coming back to myself.
Yes.
So yeah,
Because
when
the
I saw
answer-
that when I came in here, I was like, wow, that's really powerful to actually just see
Yes.
it written out like that.
Yes.
You know, it just does something when you read certain things. It kind of like
Yes.
just, it's illuminated to me. It was illuminating. See those words. The answer is you.
The answer is you. And here's the thing. As you get older, because I'm 71 years old.
Oh, you look
So-
You
amazing.
look gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. So as you get older in life, because I'm still growing through something.
Right.
Right? So as you get older in life, you begin to understand, wait a minute, you know what? There are things that I don't have any control over.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me do what I need to do and just have the faith that it's going to be all right. I'm going to get there. Because, we live in a microwavable era right now. Like, we want it like right now. I don't care how old you are. I want it right now. Right?
That's true.
So we have to understand that there is patience. And as I was telling the last sister, that there are steps. Bishop T.D. Jakes talks about the steps that we have to take
One of my
in
favorite.
order to get to where we need to get to. And if we miss the step, we have to go back and repeat it.
That's right. And Lord knows I repeated a lot of steps.
All of
So
us.
Now
All of
I'm
us.
patient with myself because I know I can't rush anything. It's going to
That's
happen
right.
in God's timing. But when you take your time and be patient and show yourself grace, then you grow more and you mature.
Absolutely.
It shows you humility and, more kindness and more love and more peace. It changes your whole mindset.
Look, see, you got the answer.
I mean, I had to suffer, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Suffering is good.
It is.
Christ suffered. So we've all gone through that suffering.
Yeah.
So I just want to say to the audience, because I just got the wrap up.
Okay.
I just want to let the audience know that you were accepted at Ramapo College,
Yes.
right? And now you're going to be also going to NYU, right?
Yeah, well,
In the spring.
in spring.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that you're going.
Amen to that.
Okay?
Yes.
And you need to just give yourself a clap on the back, like, do you. Give your mother and father a big hug, and just
course.
keep on making us all proud of you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for being on the show today, Asia. You are an inspiration to me, and you will be an inspiration to a lot of other young people. And Katrina, I'm so happy I asked you to come on, because you have a powerful story too. And keep on doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for having us.
Thank you. The power duo. The mother and daughter. Okay.
Thank
My
you.
name is Maryam Bey, and I am the host for television. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.